Yeah, it's finally here, the new Orc Codex for 8th edition, and I am excited. We're going to make a whole new series here. We're going to basically start over from scratch because each unit analysis is going to have to be redone. Not so much because the units have changed that much, but now we have to re-examine each unit with the lens of the available cultures and stratagems. So we're going to go a whole new series, starting over with the army-wide rules and the basics. So starting with, of course, the first part of the Codex is all fluff. It goes over the history of the orcs, what they are, some of the recent expansions. There's a page for each individual unit with a lot of text on it. I haven't read any of that stuff yet. I will read it eventually. So let's go ahead and start to the first page of the actual in-game rules. Right here, the Warriors of Gork and Mork. So, keywords. Here we go. Throughout this section, you will come across keywords that are within angular brackets, specifically clan. This is a shorthand for a keyword of your choosing as described below. And of course, all orcs belong to a clan. So you basically replace the clan of your choice with, or replace the clan in brackets with the clan of your choice on each individual unit. This works exactly like every other army does. So, like, there's Ultramarines and there's Dark Angels and Borkin Sept, stuff like that, and then my Tau. So yeah, it is no different. And of course, there are some of the name characters that are fixed, fixed for each for which clan they belong to. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. The clans work just like septs or chapters or dynasties or whatever from any other army, which is as expected. So abilities. The following abilities are common to several orc units. The first one being Daka Daka Daka, which was of course spoiled on the Warhammer community website a very long time ago. And I've been playing with it pretty much ever since, and I can tell you it is absolutely amazing. If you haven't yet played with Daka Daka Daka, I'm sorry. It is a fantastic ability, especially with the sheer number of dice you throw out. And on lucky rolls, you know, things can get out of hand. I've had one time where I had a Daka Jet with his 18 shots get 19 hits. So yeah, Daka 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 is beyond incredible. And that was without the cultures, and it can even be boosted more with the cultures that you have, and stratagems as well. So Daka Daka Daka, each hit of, they always hit on 6s no matter what are the modifiers, which is going to be awesome against stupid Eldar. And in addition to that, each hit of 6 generates an additional attack. It doesn't generate a hit like Necron's Tesla. It's an additional attack, or additional to roll. And this does include Overwatch. Don't forget that. The Daka 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 does apply to Overwatch. So you roll the 6 to hit, you get to roll more dice. And rolling more dice usually is a good thing. So yeah, Daka 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 is an amazing ability and is a huge boost to the army in general. Here we go. This is incredible. Here we go. You can reroll charge rolls for this unit. When doing so, you can reroll any or all of the dice. This is a huge boost. So before, under the old rules, with here we go, you had to reroll both dice, and if you only wanted to reroll one, you'd have to use your command point reroll for that phase. So they reworded it, so now you can roll one or both of your dice, or 3. There's some stratagems that allow you to roll 3 dice to charge. So that would account, you can roll 1, 2, or 3 of those with here we go. And you don't have to spend a command point, and you can do it on every single unit. You're not limited to rerolling 1 die on just one unit that charges. This is huge. This is an amazing boost for here we go. Mob rules the same. You can use the leadership character of the unit, or the number of models in that unit, or the number of models in a nearby unit. Speed mobs. The first time this unit is set up on the battlefield, all of its models must be placed within 6 inches of at least one other model from the unit. From that point forward, each model operates independently and is treated as a separate unit. So, pretty basic stuff. That works just like vehicle squadrons, for the most part, have worked across the game since 8th edition. So yeah, those are DACA, Mob Rule, here we go. Fantastic. These are great. Okay, so let's talk about other abilities when we get into Battle Forged. Abilities that go for detachments. If you want to start building Battle Forged, which most people do play Battle Forged. All Orc detachments, excluding Super Heavy Auxiliary detachments, which is the Super Heavy Auxiliary is the single Lord of War with no benefits and no restrictions. So if you want to run a single Stompa, you don't want to run the Super Heavy Aux detachment, or it won't get its culture. You'll either have to run the Supreme Command detachment, or you can grab some Super Heavies from Forge Roll and run a full Super Heavy detachment if you want. But probably, if you're going to run a Stompa, you're going to need to run it in the Supreme Command detachment to get your cultures. So this is our Zog-Off, which is probably the best named rule in the entire game, and it basically gives your troops OBSEC, objective secured, so that troops will count more for holding objectives than non-troops. And of course, and if both units have similar, then is controlled by the most number of models. So yeah, this is our Zog-Off. Amazing name. Clan cultures, and of course here we go into the culture. If your army is battle forged, which means everything has to be in detachments, all clan units in the Orc detachments, excluding those Super Heavy Auxiliary detachments, gain a clan culture as long as every unit in that detachment is from the same clan. So remember, this is per detachment. So most of the time in organized events, you're going to run a maximum of 3 detachments, which means you can run a maximum of 3 cultures. Choosing 3 is hard. And a lot of these abilities are going to be targeting only specific cultures. So like the War Boss's Busting Heads or Breaking Heads ability only works on matching cultures. So you can't have a Bad Moon's War Boss break heads on an Evil Sun's Boys unit. You can't do that. So fortunately there are some abilities that are just Orc Infantry, like the Jump is Orc Infantry, not a clan, so that helps a lot. So we'll get over that as we get to individual units. Guns for Hire, this is kind of cool. Flash Gits, including Badger, can be included in an Orc detachment without preventing the other units in that detachment from gaining a clan culture. Note, however, that the Flash Gits unit do not themselves benefit from any culture at all, unless that clan culture selected for the entire detachment is a freebootus. So this is an exception to the general rule of everything has to be the same in a detachment. That's only for Flash Gits and Badrick, which is nice. That means you can actually field them in any army, any clan you want, which is fluffy and makes them playable. And Grots. This here is the contention, and we'll get over that when we get to other units. Units comprised entirely of Gretchen cannot benefit from any clan culture. Right now there are 3 units that are comprised entirely of Gretchen models, and those are Gretchen, Killicans, and Mech Guns. And in addition, Orc stratagems can only be used on these units if the stratagem explicitly states that they work on Grots. So if it doesn't say Gretchen in the stratagem, you can't use it. So you cannot teleporta Gretchen units. Not like you'd want to, but you can't do it. So those are the ways of the warband if you're building Battleforge, which you most likely will. And of course the clan cultures here are what were leaked. Everything that here was exactly what was leaked months ago. Goths get exploding 6s in close combat. Bad Moons get reroll 1s in the shooting phase. Evil Suns get +1 to move, advance, and charge rolls. And they do not suffer penalties that hit rolls for advancing and firing assault weapons. And you can add 2 if it's a Speed Freak model, which is like Def Copters in the new vehicles. I wish trucks were Speed Freaks, but unfortunately they're not. Death Skulls, again, they get a 6-up invul save, and you can reroll a single hit roll, single wound roll, and a single damage roll for each unit with this culture each time it shoots or fights. In addition, infantry units with this culture gain This Is Our Zog Off ability, even if they do not have the troops battlefield roll. That second part, oh, everything there is just amazing. Everything on Death Skulls is amazing. Again, we will go over each individual unit and which units benefit most from each culture. Snake Bites get a 5-up Feel No Pain, or 6-up Feel No Pain, which is probably the least exciting of all 6. Blood Axes, again, a unit of this culture gains a benefit cover even when they're not entirely on or in a train piece if you're shooting from more than 18 inches away. And units of this culture can shoot or charge, but not both, even if they fell back that turn. Fantastic! Freebooter's competitive streak. Add 1 to the hit rolls made by models with this culture if any other friendly unit with this culture within 24 inches has destroyed an enemy unit this phase. So, which could be really good, but it is going to be very tricky to use effectively. So, again, these are all exactly what was spoiled. No surprises here, except for, let's see, there are some additions here, like the Death Skulls, where they get the Zog Off ability. This Is Our Zog Off on infantry. So it kind of makes you want to take Death Skulls Commandos with that 6-up invul save and OBSEC. If only Grotz could get that, that would be amazing. Yeah, Blood Axes tactics where they fall back and charge again. People were thinking this couldn't be right because it was too powerful. It's not. It's amazing. So yeah, that's it. And that's all we're going to go over this video. Is just the basic army-wide rules that you'll see. Other than the snake bites, all the other 6 ones are, and the freebooters, which is going to be hard to use. It sounds good on paper, but it's going to be hard to pull off. But the other 4 or 5 are all fantastic. And let me tell you, it is incredibly difficult to decide what you want to play. And the thing is, these cultures actually lend themselves to more than one playstyle each. I mean, there are several different viable lists with each culture, and you start mixing cultures, and it just gets out of hand. This book is, as far as I can tell, very competitive with the current meta. Which is I'm going to tell you, I did not expect the book to be competitive, just because of how fragile orcs really are and how much shooting there is out there in the meta right now. But there is so much good stuff in this book. I am at a loss of where to begin building a list. So that is all I got to say for the introduction to the new series of Talking About Orcs. Is the introduction to the Codex, which, despite the fact that it's missing a lot of units, I'm incredibly excited about and overall extremely happy with. I would give this Codex, from first glance, a preliminary examination of the rules, interactions, and tricks you can play. I'm going to give this thing an 8.5 out of 10. That might change over time, and we'll see what happens with Chapter Approved later this year. But that's my rating. And as I said, we'll go back in a few months after I've played a ton of games and the meta's moved around after Chapter Approved, and see if that rating sticks or not. So thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Orcs. There's a lot more to come. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Orcs. Please subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications for new Talking About Orcs videos every Wednesday, new battle reports every Friday, and hobby videos whenever I can. Thanks for watching.